Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Impact Review for the 3rd of November. Can't believe we're in November. 2020. And, I mean, it's not a good show, to be honest, but it's better than the politics stuff here in the States. So we open with the Scott D'Amore opening, telling us that Bravo is in stable condition. He's telling Tommy Dreamer this. He's not out of the water just yet. Dreamer, dressed as Sherlock Holmes, says he's launching an investigation. And so we've got a comedy angle here. Knockouts champion Su Yung defeating Deonna Purrazzo with Kimberly to retain the title. Not a bad match, but nothing terribly wonderful. The news on Kylie Rae is that she has retired from professional wrestling for mental health reasons. In all sincerity, whatever she has going on personally trumps her involvement in the wrestling business, and I hope that she is holistically well and healthy as soon as possible. And if she chooses to come back to wrestling someday, so be it. If she never does, thank you for your contributions, and go and have the best life you possibly can. There's more to life than pro wrestling. Anyway, Purrazzo claims this is her rematch clause. She had threatened to sue Impact before Purrazzo. She's called out any man or woman alive at Bound for Glory. And she claims that Su Yung isn't really alive. And D'Amore convinced her that she will, in fact, get her rematch. Aggressive Su Yung, and she goes after the mandible claw early. Purrazzo is prepared this time. Finish comes quick when Su Yung locked in the mandible claw, and Kimberly tossed a chair into the ring. Young and Purrazzo fight over the chair, and then Purrazzo gets hit in the midsection, causing a disqualification. Match was too short to really be of anything. The wrestling itself was fine for what it was in terms of execution. Not a fan of matches this short. If you're going to do this, why do it at all? Young takes out Lee and Purrazzo. And then we see Josh Matthews and Madison Rayne run down tonight's card. Madison Rayne is better than any of the mainstream Raw or SmackDown announcers. I'm sorry. Wade Barrett does better. Samoa Joe does better upon occasion. But any of the classically trained WWE announcers can't even hold a candle to Madison Rayne. And then Bravo's injury is hyped here, which is just goofy. D'Amore's office, Rhino and Heath are there, ready to sign contracts. Heath is obviously still hurting from his hernia, hiding it from everyone but his buddy Rhino. And then Heath is told to heal up before signing the contract. He's even offered to help him with rehab. Heath's trying to play it cool. After the Heath and Rhino segment, R.D. Evans walked in and demands a rematch for Purrazzo, since she once again gets mishandled. Rich Swann approaches Eddie Edwards about their tag match tonight, and they basically say they have each other's backs. Chris Bay defeats Trey Miguel. Nothing wrong with this. Actually better for both men that they're one-on-one. Obviously both men were part of the Bound for Glory 6-man scramble match. Basically both of them are kind of hitting reset, trying to get back to the title. Good X Division match, fast-paced, reversals early, and Bay is in control for the majority of the match. Goes with more of a heel style, cuts off Miguel after working the neck for a while. Miguel gains some momentum, but gets cut off after preparing for the Meteora. Bay manages to get a second cutter and get the win. I'm not really a fan of either guy as a main force, but Bay has some talent, and he is going to be doing some work with New Japan when they do a U.S. Super Juniors tournament, which is cool. And then we go to an installment of Locker Room Talk, and the guests tonight are Tennille Dashwood and Jordana Grace, and both are part of the Knockouts Tag Tournament. When it approaches, Grace says that she's confident she'll find a partner. So they are not partners, but it was kind of teased they would be or something like that. Rain tries to get Dashwood and Grace to consider teaming together. Grace tells Dashwood that Madison Rain should team up with her, which Grace walked out and she's rejected. Everyone was pretty okay. I mean, it was kind of a throwaway segment. I'm not a fan of the return of the Knockouts tag division. I don't think they have enough women to warrant this, but they're going to do what they're going to do. And you know, it is what it is. Dreamer interrogates referee Brandon Toll. Bravo had made fun of his officiating before. Cody Deaner and Swinger do some comedy, and I guess that means a match is coming between the two of them, which doesn't impress me much. Rohit Raju comes out for the defeat. Excuse me. Defeat Rohit challenge. Cuts a promo. Raju says he should, be on top, and TJP comes out. TJP asks for an opportunity. Rohit turns him down and basically says TJP's always out there begging for attention, trying to steal a spotlight. TJP answers with a promo saying that he's worked hard to achieve and accomplish everything he could, and that he's done more than Rohit ever will. Raju then says that all TJP does is talk about the past, but he doesn't have the title. TJP tosses his tea at Raju, and they brawl. Not a bad little angle as far as getting them moving forward. Gia Miller interviews Chris Sabin. She asks for updates on Shelley. Shelley said he's doing well, but wanted to address all the teams that are trying to divide and conquer. He challenged either of Triple XL to a match. Raju appears and approaches D'Amour to do something about TJP. TJP is going to get one last chance at the title, so Raju better defeat him and finally be done. Doc Gallows with Carl Anderson defeats Ethan Page. I was not a fan of this. Page of course, with Josh Alexander. Last time we saw them, they're brawling backstage. Match story is that Gallows is dominating and Page keeps getting more frustrated. Eventually, Alexander distracts Gallows. Page clips him from behind, gains control of the match. Page works over Gallows for several minutes. Gallows is about to finish things off. Alexander gets his ankle, but not even with the distraction. Page does not get the better of Gallows. Gallows hits a big boot and wins via pinfall. Sad to see Ethan Page, who I think is one of the better talented people in Impact, take a loss here. Anderson and Gallows clear the ring and send the North away. Miller interviews Swoggle about being back on Impact. He says he's glad to be back and that he's always been seen as a joke, and he's here to turn those thoughts around. Brian Myers interrupted, tells him he'll always be a sideshow freak, and he pushes Swoggle. Swoggle certainly looks like he could be a bigger character here, no pun intended. Um, but, you know, I guess Swoggle and Myers are going into a program. Swinger and Diener are up next. Just a complete throw-in match to fill time. The match is a comedy match. Diener kept drinking to gain power and energy. Swinger keeps doing posing and old school heel tactics to work over Diener. Swinger tries to hit Diener with a chair. Cousin Jake stops him. Swinger uses his fanny pack to attack Diener for the pin. 3 minutes of wasted time, but it is what it is. Moose comes to the ring looking pretty good. He says the last few months he hasn't been taken seriously. He's also frustrated the TNA Championship hasn't been taken seriously. He said that at Bound for Glory he went through hell and back to regain the title and takes out one of the biggest champs in company history. He runs down the names of people he's defeated all year. Moose plays the footage of last week's attack on Willie Mack and told Swann to ask Mack what pain feels like, and he warned Mack to come down and attack him. Moose is I don't know. I guess they're gonna go with Moose and Swann at some point. Over in Swann's locker room, Chris Bay congratulates him, told Swann he should be the next challenger. Swann told him that he needs more than to just ask for a title shot. He needs to earn it. Edwards comes in to head for their upcoming match, and Chris Bay is, I guess, going to chase the championship. Dreamer said that he has narrowed down his suspects to 10 people. Swinger, Havoc, Brandon Tully, Cody Diener, Hernandez, Falaba, Larry D, James Mitchell, Rosemary, and Taya. That just was horrible. Next week's card, Raju versus TJP for the X Division title, Chris Sabin versus AC Romero, and Rain and Dashwood versus Havoc and Nevaeh. 11 days away, we get Turning Point on Impact Plus. Su Yung defends against Deonna Purrazzo in an Anything Goes match, and Moose versus Willie Mack. Neither of these make me terribly thrilled, but they're not horrible. Eric Young and Sami Callihan in your main event defeat Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards. Obviously, all four have history with each other. Swann retains the title against Eric Young last week. He's threatened by Callahan's intentions. Edwards has been dealing with Callihan, Shamrock, and Young in the last several months. The match is a real basic tag match, nothing really to it. Edwards is the babyface in peril for the majority of the match. Swann hits a hot tag, goes nuts on the heels in the final minutes with all four men running their basic spots. Towards the end of the match, Callihan and Young go for their signature pile drivers. Swann and Edwards both make their way out and reverse the moves. And then we go into sharpshooters and single leg crab respectively, leading to Young and Callihan having to stop each other from tapping out. That's kind of interesting comedy. Finish sees Edwards lock in Callihan in the half Boston Crab. Shamrock comes down, takes Swann out and distracts Edwards enough for Callihan to get him from behind and hit the Cactus Special for the win. Fine. I hope this doesn't lead to a waste of time like Callihan winning the championship back. Young and Callihan are too big of an ego to work together long term. And it was a fine show, but I really think they built up Bound for Glory so well, and now they have nothing to do with themselves. But, you know, the fact I was able to run through that in 15 minutes, yeah, still better than Raw. And that's the way I look at it. In any event, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.